Everyone, it's Joy, Dr. Joy Botso. I'm talking tonight about do you need some extra energy and support for the holidays? We have Thanksgiving coming up around the corner. And I know not to say that everyone is, that being with family is stressful, but sometimes it can be stressful, whether you're introverted like myself and having, conversations and small talk can be exhausting, or you already have a condition where you're having trouble with energy or something like that. I have some ideas for you that could be supportive for going into the holidays and going into Thanksgiving. So you may have heard of or be familiar with the stress response system. We've probably heard of the fight or flight response, which is your body's reaction to perceived stress. So, today's topic is kind of about holiday stress or being with family or friends, or maybe the lack of being with family or friends in the holidays, and how to support yourself in that stress response. So, your brain perceives a stress and your body creates signals, your brain creates signals to your body to stimulate hormone production, to stimulate different nutrients and the need for certain nutrients and things like that to create stress and support of that stress response. Immediate response to stress would be production of cortisol, production of adrenaline, some things you may have heard of cortisol. That's an okay thing if it's immediate and it goes away, but over time what can happen is that stress response, that high level of cortisol can start impairing your function and impairing your ability to respond to stress. So cortisol is a good thing. It's anti-inflammatory. We need it. It maintains blood sugar and appropriate blood pressure. It also helps regulate salt and water balance. And it actually has a regulatory effect on the immune system. So when you have a cough or a cold and your cough's okay during the day, and then before you go to bed at nighttime your cough often gets worse. Now that's often because the cortisol production is meant to drop before bed and go nice and low so that your melatonin can come up. So as you see, that's a simple example of how cortisol actually has a immune regulatory effect. So it's a fabulous thing. However, with prolonged stress, or say, a stressful event like the holiday season, that response can become, the sensitivity of that response can get worse, and you can actually get a drop in cortisol over time. So high cortisol for a long period of time, or high chronic stress, can cause issues with blood sugar regulation. It can cause hormonal imbalance. It can cause immune dysfunction. All these things that cortisol helps play a part of. And over time, you may have heard this idea of adrenal fatigue, or the body's inability for the adrenal system to maintain proper cortisol regulation, and over time you can have a really low level of cortisol. I actually test adrenal function in a lot of my patients in my practice, and I'll see things all across the board. Some patients have super high cortisol, again, which you'll see kind of issues with those, and some people have just flatline cortisol, and often they just have low energy. They can't get through the day. They may have impaired sleep issues. They might have trouble getting out of bed. So some things that my little kind of hack, I guess, for the holiday season is to support yourself with nutrients that support the stress response or the adrenal response, because you can have impaired digestion with stress response. It impairs your endocrine function or your hormone function. It can actually, contribute to metabolism issues, so you can have weight problems and things like that. So I'm actually doing a happy hour tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the 22nd and 23rd, before Thanksgiving in my practice in Santa Monica. So whoever is local, you can come on in during 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. tomorrow and Wednesday, or 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. For happy hour for immune and adrenal support, or stress support injection therapy. And the nutrients that I'm using in my injection therapy are B vitamins, which are really, really important for the nervous system, for the stress response, and for adrenal function, and as well as inositol, which in nutrient helps nerve transmission. It helps transport fat. It's helpful for blood sugar regulation, but also helpful for anxiety and stress. And it helps in serotonin, which serotonin is that nutrient you may have heard of with some depression and things like that. In addition, magnesium, which is a fantastic nutrient for stress response. It's often used up in high amounts in stress, so you'll want to give it a good supply of magnesium, a good supply of B vitamins. And the other reason why it's helpful to do this through intramuscular injection or IV therapy, which is nutrients going directly into the bloodstream, is because it helps with absorption of the nutrients. It basically guarantees absorption of those nutrients. Therefore, your body is more likely to utilize them in an efficient way. Again, we talk about high cortisol, how it shuts down digestion. So in that chronic stress response that happens during the holiday season, your digestion can be impaired. And so taking things orally, whether it is pulling nutrients out of the food that you're eating orally or supplements, can not be absorbed properly. So being able to get them right into the bloodstream is a really, really efficient way of getting a good amount of nutrients to your body to help create that stress, to help support that stress response. A couple interesting studies that have been done. There's a lot of stuff out there, but a couple interesting studies that have been done. There's a couple of studies in 2013 of after an earthquake in New Zealand, they actually gave different people certain nutrients, and they saw how they perceived the ability, their recovery from the stress, their perceived anxiety. And the people who had the B vitamins, the magnesium, the zinc, had a better prognosis. They basically handled the stress better, and they had improved quality of life. So there's a lot of good that can be done from these nutrients. And again, I'm inviting everyone to whoever is local, or you can always call me or contact me through my office as well for more information. But come on in to happy hour. I'm doing it at my office in Santa Monica, 2716 Ocean Park Boulevard, Suite 2007, tomorrow, Tuesday the 22nd, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., and again from 2 to 4 p.m., and that is Tuesday and Wednesday, right before the Thanksgiving holiday. Come on in, get your stress response supported, and get some good nutrients, and I'd love to talk to you more about other ways that you can support your stress response or other concerns that you have. Thank you so much for listening. I'm very, very excited to be doing Facebook Live. I hope to be doing more of these, and I hope that more of you can tune in, and maybe we can do some question answers as well. I would love to do that. All right, guys, have a great Monday evening. Thank you.